But this sun is pissing me off. It's too dark. What should I do? Okay, well then I'm just gonna have a line across my face. So, sorry. Well, if you if you're watching, I apologize, but it is what it is. I record from my room. I don't have a studio. I keep learning, I keep trying, and I hope I keep improving. So, yeah, welcome to Artist Mindset, and let's get into the episode. Have you ever felt like you sort of tell yourself, or you feel like you procrastinate a lot, or you haven't done enough today or maybe tomorrow? Sorry. Today or maybe yesterday. Sorry for that confusion. I keep telling that to myself a lot. Probably I'm not gonna delete this. I want to keep this podcast real, but yeah, that's my unhinged, kind of chaotic me. So sorry for that. But if you ever felt like you procrastinate a lot and you kind of get to the end of the day and you tell yourself like, oh my god, I've done nothing, like I've just watched YouTube videos the past 4 hours, or I've just watched reels on Instagram for the past 5 hours and I've done nothing, I haven't even gone for a walk, then ask yourself how much you've actually achieved in the past few months, or even since the beginning of this year. Because it happens to me a lot that I feel like I procrastinate. I feel like I've done nothing. But the truth is that I just keep raising the bar, and maybe you can relate to that. And then it sort of feels like a race, and it feels like I get to the next goal and to the next thing, and then what's next, and I haven't done enough. And the sort of feeling of, you know, when you achieve something and it feels very glorious, it feels very new and exciting, and that feeling is not there anymore, and you just keep thinking, instead of like, wow, I've done so much since the beginning of this year, you just keep thinking about the things you haven't done, or the things you have postponed for a long time. But have you tried to ask yourself, why did that happen? Maybe there was a reason why you postponed things. Maybe there was a reason you didn't manage to do everything you wanted. And maybe that reason is that you just keep raising the bar. Or maybe that reason is that you're just too hard on yourself and you should have more compassion with yourself. Because that's certainly what happened to me, and if you can relate, I hope that you can be more kind to yourself and remind yourself that you've done enough. And there is always a reason if you haven't done something that you wanted to do. And please don't beat yourself up and try to listen to yourself and go at your own pace. Because nobody is dictating to you that you should go as fast as your friend Angela, or you should go as slow as your friend Marco. No, you should go exactly the pace that you need to go. Because it's your life, and if you don't listen to yourself, then you might end up being burnt out. And that's sort of like going into depth with yourself, right? And is that worth it to sort of live in the energetic depth, where even if you try to move forward, you sort of still reach zero because you don't have that surplus and you don't have that energy that you might have had a few months ago if you've listened to yourself. And just to tell you what happened to me this year is I certainly haven't listened enough to myself, or maybe I've been just really tough or hard on myself, because I've just reflected today about this. I had this realization because I was thinking like, oh, I haven't done anything in this whole 2 days that I sort of came back to Denmark because I was on holidays. I made this whole to-do list and all the people that I have to reach out to. And I've done some of the things, but not all of it. And it makes me feel really stressed and anxious. And, then I realized, okay, but is this actually the reality? Is it true, what I'm perceiving? Or is it just in my head? Because it's only me that's making myself stressed over things that maybe don't even matter, right? And I've realized that I've actually done a lot this year. And on top of that, it's not to say that I cannot do a lot. I think I'm naturally a very busy person. I guess I'm a workaholic. I love to do a lot of stuff. But I had a very challenging personal life this year. I had a lot of ups and downs in my family. And it takes a toll on you, and I haven't even considered that. I was sort of like, another thing. That's life, those things happen. Like, you lose people, you have fights, you don't agree on things, like, that's okay, that's life, I'm gonna deal with that. And then on top of that was like my work, right? Like, I have to do this, I have to do that, and what about my other job? And yeah. But if you can relate, I think it's good to pause, if you can, and just reflect. Like, even me, and this is how I realized it, I was writing my CV the other day for an art exhibition that I wanted to apply for, and I wrote down all the things I've done, just in terms of like visual arts and workshops and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, that's so much, like in just the past 2 or 3 years. I don't feel adequate enough, and I feel like I don't have enough experience, or maybe I'm not enough as an artist to apply for serious exhibitions or serious art residencies. And then I look at my CV and what I've done in the past 3 years, and I'm like, girl, what the hell? Girl, have some respect. Like, you've done so much, and you worked on the side all the time because your art doesn't bring enough money yet to support yourself fully. I'm like, what? I deserve some respect, no? Don't I deserve some recognition as well for how much I've done? And I'm not talking about people, but myself. Like, how is it possible that I struggle to recognize my value in that sense when it's so clear? And people keep telling me like, oh, you do so much, and it's very easy to dismiss it and be like, yeah, sure, I know I do a lot, but I just have a lot of hobbies, right? Like, who doesn't? But actually realizing how much you do, I think it's directly linked to your self-esteem. And I think that should be sort of the outcome of today's episode, because please look back. Before you even do your vision boards and your goals and dreams, please look back on how much you've already done and achieved, even in the past few months, and how much you managed to get through, because it's gonna blow your mind, and you should truly recognize that, because not everybody would be able to go through whatever you went through, right? So please remember that, and don't forget to look back, because it's very easy to raise the bar every time you achieve something and just move on. But there is a great value in looking back and realizing, wow, I've achieved that and I've grown. And even if you feel like you're in the same situation this year as you were maybe last year, like, I can honestly tell you, I had this really crazy experience. I've dated somebody last year, I've dated somebody this year, and exactly around the same time we broke up this year with, like, the person that I was dating. It was the same time I broke up with the person I was dating last year. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is impossible. Like, the universe is playing jokes on me. But then I realized, I'm in the same situation, but I'm a different person. And I'm dating a different person than I was last year. And that just comes to show that I've grown, I've changed. And even if you are in the same situation, you're never the same person. and you won't react the same if you've grown and you matured. If you've grown and you've matured. So also keep that in mind if you feel like you are in the same situation that you were maybe a few months ago or maybe a few years ago. And don't beat yourself up, because it doesn't lead to anything. You need to support yourself, because only you can make and build the life that you want. So please remember that, and I hope that this episode was at least a little bit inspiring and that you enjoy it. And please, if you managed to listen so far, let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate. I'm also very grateful for all of you that subscribe and support my videos, because this is also just a dream I've never could imagine. And I know that not even 300 subscribers, maybe it's not a lot. But if you imagine all those people in one room, that's a hell of a big room. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Artist Mindset. Bye!